So I had a really interesting conversation earlier with a good advisor. Like, we've been working with him for years. He's in our training program, and he said, you know what? I just learned or relearned an important lesson. I met with a prospect earlier this week. I went through a diagnostic. I found out about their needs and their goals. And then I just found myself starting to share ideas that would help them. He's like, oh, this is exciting. I'm helping this client. And right before we got on the collaboration call together, he got an email from the client saying, thank you so much for those ideas that you shared with me. I took them back to my CPA, and he's going to move forward accordingly. And the advisor was like, wait, you took my ideas that I shared with you. Your CPA didn't come up with those. Your current advisor didn't come up with those. I came up with those. I shared them with you, and now you're moving forward with your current CPA and probably your current advisor? Like, wait a minute. And so, of course, what I said is, my friend, I've been there. Way too many of us as advisors give away our value. And so I thought it'd be interesting to shoot this quick video today and share with you a couple slides that I put together about giving away value. Like, first of all, what the problem actually is, and then share with you, I think, some of the solution to that problem. So the problem, a lot of us as advisors waste time selling prospects, right? We don't initially either believe that we have value, or that we've just most likely been kind of put into this box by the industry that we have to sell ourselves. Like, we have to prove to prospects that we have good ideas. And it ends up feeling, to me at least, like a game of Battleship. Write in the comments if you connect with that at all. If being a financial advisor and insurance agent ever feels like Battleship to you. If you remember that game, I used to play it with my sister in my grandparents' backyard. And you would throw this little, or shoot this little metaphorical missile over this plastic barrier, and you would wait to hear whether or not your missile hit the opponent's ship, right? And it was a little bit of strategy, a little memory, but also a lot of luck. And that's what business used to feel like to me. You'd throw this missile, and then you'd wait and hear whether or not what you just threw over the wall actually hits with the prospect, yay, or it goes quiet. Either way, you're not defining your own terms. So this advisor earlier on the call, he didn't define the terms in which he would be willing to share his value, his intellectual property, with this client. Now, of course, he wanted to help the client. That's why he's in the line of work he's in. But he shouldn't do it for free. His terms of engagement should be, let me understand your circumstance and decide whether or not I can help you. If I can, great. Here's what I offer. Here's what the cost is. And then he shares the idea. So we'll get into the solution in a moment. But he needed to define his own terms. Oftentimes, when you don't define your own terms, you don't earn what you're worth. And some of us in this industry are even, we're earning a good living, but we are still seen as a salesperson offering a commodity, which, if we're honest with ourselves, never feels that good. At least it didn't to me. Like, I never really wanted to be seen as a salesperson that had sales techniques and I knew the right products to bring to the table. That's a little bit, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to experience. I wanted to be seen as a true professional, an expert within my area, a problem solver, not somebody selling a commodity. So that's the problem. And the solution then looks like, first of all, stop the servant master mentality or relationship. And this is one of my very good friends and mentors that shared this with me originally. He said, way too many advisors see themselves, even if they don't acknowledge it, if you look at the way they act, they see themselves as the servant in the relationship, and the client is the master. How high do you want me to jump, master? When do you want me to call, master? When do you want me to show up for the meetings? What are you willing to pay? That's completely wrong. That's not good for anyone. So first of all, stop that mindset of the servant-master relationship. The second is, you got to learn how to turn intangible into tangible. What do I mean by that? What we typically offer is an intangible experience, something like proactive planning or financial planning or holistic planning. What does that mean? What am I actually getting for that experience? Compare that to buying a bottle of Coca-Cola. You know what you're going to get, right? You can picture the label, you know the red color, you can picture the the bubbles coming up. You know what you're going to get. That's tangible. You can wrap your arms around it. So as advisors, one of the challenges is, how do you turn the intangible into tangible? And this doesn't have anything to do with licenses. It has everything to do with setting expectation. The way I like to do that, and we train, is by creating client service levels. What does that mean? It means, for me, I have a proactive light, a proactive core, and a proactive max. That's 3 different service levels in which I engage my clients. This is the term of the relationship if you want to work with me, right? Proactive light includes dot, 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 dot. Proactive core includes dot, 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 dot. Proactive max includes dot, 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 dot. Obviously, the higher up you get, the more time, the more sophisticated, and the more expensive, because the more value is being brought to the relationship. So proactive light might be 200 to 500 a month, okay? Proactive core might be 500 to 2,000 a month, and proactive max would be tailored based on your circumstance. So if the advisor approached the conversation with client service levels in mind, he would diagnose the situation just like he did. He'd understand whether or not he could help. In this circumstance, he genuinely knew he could. But before he said, here's what you could do, and gave away all of his value, he would say, you know, based on this conversation, I truly believe I could help. The way I work with clients is I offer 3 proactive service levels: proactive light, proactive core, proactive max. Let me go over those with you. Based on what you shared with me, it sounds like you need probably a fair amount of our time going back and forth to address this over the next 6 to 12 months. I would suggest proactive core. And then the client would decide to move forward or not. But he's not giving away his value. He's not selling himself, you know, sharing these things, hoping that the client's going to decide to work with him. No, he is defining the relationship. That makes sense, because whether or not the client then actually moves forward with implementing any ideas, the advisor is fairly compensated for the intellectual property. I'll give you an example. In real world, my wife and I right now are looking at remodeling our home. We hire an architect. The architect charges us for his experience and his plans, his drawings. Now, whether my wife and I hire a general contractor and we move forward and do the remodel next month, in 6 months, in a year, or never, the architect has been paid because the architect did his work, right? So that's why I like charging, not only for a financial plan, but again, regardless of the license, you can charge proactive plans using client service levels. And then the last thing I'll mention here is that the great thing about charging for value is the more value you bring, the more you can charge. What does that mean? If you realize that our business is not a solo sport, you don't have to play one-on-one basketball and be the best one-on-one basketball player. It's a team sport. Leverage CPAs and other experts at planning. It could be tax planning, risk mitigation planning, business planning, legal services. Leverage others' expertise to be able to bring more value to your prospects and your clients, and therefore charge more, right? The more value you can bring, the more your tangible client service levels are attractive to your ideal client, the more you can charge. We have advisors that are charging $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and these are 12-month planning engagements. So $60,000 a year. Why would a client pay an advisor $60,000 a year, separate from managing assets, separate from any insurance commissions or annuity or any of that stuff? Purely planning fee. Why? Because if, as an advisor, my team and I could identify ways to help you grow your business revenue by another 200 grand this year, is it worth an investment of 60 grand? 100%. What if my team and I could identify a way to save you 123,000 in taxes? Would that be worth an investment of 60 grand? Absolutely, every day, right? So the only thing I'm illustrating here is the more value you can bring and the better you can define the terms of working with you and how you deliver that value, the more you can charge and the more you legitimately deserve to earn. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. I think it's a really interesting topic. It's becoming, I think, more and more important for our industry to understand as we are redefining ourselves as professionals. If you liked the video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. That helps YouTube know that people are enjoying this free content. If you found it interesting, go ahead and make a comment below. Anything specific about this video that you liked or you would take exception to. And lastly, if there's anything that we can do to help you, and we're not working with you yet in a coaching relationship or in one of our training programs, feel free to check out the description. I'll include a link to our calendar below, and you're welcome to set up an initial call. We'll make sure the first one is complimentary to you, and we would enjoy discussing any of this material. So that's it for today. Look forward to connecting again on a future video.